Welcome back to the morning show on JTV. It's time now to welcome, from Penn Chiropractic Center, Dr. Randy Penn. Morning, Doc.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to see you, Andy. Great to see you, Jennifer.
It's a beautiful day.
It is.
Everybody's out and about, getting
Yes.
reacquainted with summer and springtime sports.
Right.
Yeah.
Lots of fun.
Yeah, they are. It's like, you're getting out, you're using your body for the first time in
Yes.
many cases. What's happening to our body after this long winter?
Well, it's for sure. I mean, we become kind of sedative, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're just not moving as much, especially outside, and we don't get enough vitamin D in this region, unfortunately. So we start moving, we start getting out, we start getting active, we start having strains, sprains, things of that nature. Happened to me the other day, first day of golf, and I'm like, oh, it's no big deal. And all the things that we teach, I mean, it's just, it was the time I could play, right?
Yeah.
So I went out, didn't probably do all the warm-up that I should have done, and kind of tweaked my knee a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't hinder things today, but it's,
Well, if it does, you have an excuse.
oh, well,
Yeah, you got-
there's always something.
There's always,
right? Yeah,
there's
There's
always
always
There's always a
negotiating.
reason.
always
A
an
reason.
excuse. But yeah, to your point, whether you're, you're trying to get in shape for a 5K, couch to 5K, these joints that maybe you've never had pain before, didn't even know existed, starting to nag and stress. But you have technology that really can help some of these issues.
We do. We have multiple techniques that we're using. The one that kind of we highlight in this segment would be pulsed electromagnetic fields.
Pulsed traumatic. Say it again.
Pulsed electromagnetic
I thought you said
fields.
post-traumatic
I
stress
almost
disorder.
And we all
Very
have some of
tricky.
that, right?
So tell us what that does and how it can help our viewers.
So we've known about pulsed electromagnetic fields for decades, for probably 70, 80 years or even longer.
Yeah.
The Earth has a pulsed electromagnetic field, right? So like when we're in the woods or barefoot on the beach, right? You know, that feeling of kind of there's a sense of calm. It's called grounding.
Okay.
So scientists several years ago really kind of honed in on this field and kind of harnessed the energy. And what it does is it think of it like cellular exercise. Like exercise is great for us, right? So that's one way our cells can respire. That's why exercise kind of keeps us healthy, is because in movement, right? We don't want to have sedative things going on. So movement is life. So what we can do is if there's cells that are damaged, unfortunately when cells are damaged, Jennifer, they kind of shrivel up, right?
Okay.
So we can't get nutrients in the cells as effectively or waste products out. So what we can do is target tissue that's been damaged, no matter what it is really, whether it's inflammation, whether it's fractures, whether it's some kind of joint sprain, strain, that kind of thing, is those cells kind of shrivel up. So now we can target that tissue and we can exercise the cells, pump them back up into a healthier state, the way they should be. Now the cells become more permeable to oxygen and hydrogen and nutrients and trace minerals, so the body can then heal itself.
So once that cell is healed or strengthened, is it good to go, or is this an ongoing thing that you need to do?
That's a great question. And I mean, it's like drinking water, right? How long would I tell you to drink water for?
Always.
Right, daily. For
Every
how
day.
long?
Every day, all day.
Right.
Rest of my life.
Right. So we have to pay attention to what our cell health is. So just like we can't go to the gym for 3 months and we can't get to a good state, and then all of a sudden stop, we're not just going to be at that state.
Yeah.
So the cells can, once they're recharged, certainly they're in a much better state to defend against disease and future injury, things of that nature. The tissue does heal. It becomes in a healed state, but then we just have to maintain it, right?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, cells that are damaged also lose their charge. So just like our cell phones, lose their charge, every cell in the body, 70 trillion cells, are all like a little battery.
Okay.
And so they can become damaged, or they can lose their charge or weaken their strength.
Okay.
Right?
So I've done the pulse tech. Yeah, this is
Right.
the. You have a couple different systems where you can either like lay against it or place it on you, or you have that round ring. So I think it's important that the clients know that it's very comfortable. I mean, it's almost like a spa 10 minutes. You know, you can just go and relax, and you put the device on whatever area needs it. It's a very relaxing environment, and it just does the work. You can just lay there and close your eyes, meditate, maybe fall asleep. I might have drooled once or twice. I was just that cozy.
You're exactly right. It's comforting, and we can adjust the strength to the comfort of each patient, because everyone's a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
So we can, some people like a little bit higher intensity, and like if we're pulsing the brain for some reason, we want a higher frequency, so we're not like having it, and we want it to be comfortable so they feel it, but there's no pain involved.
We even did something, Claire like darn near broke Katie's nose, and it was really swollen and bruised out to here. We did something with her that helped. I think you and I should go in and do it and see who can handle more.
I bet I could.
There is no way, Andy. I guarantee I could tolerate more.
There's no chance.
Oh yeah.
All right, we'll do it.
Okay.
But this all leads back to performance, and when you're trying to perform at your best, if your body is not cooperating, I mean, it's just a recipe for disaster.
It really is, Andy. I mean, the Europeans, we developed this technology. The kind of Europe kind of not took it. They had it.
Took advantage of it.
Took advantage of it.
Yeah.
The technology, and this is kind of commonplace for them, and in terms of getting cells in a healthier state and revitalizing and rebooting kind of the tissue, so that helps performance. So they're golfers. They use it routinely. So it's really it's something really for everyone. That's what's kind of cool too, is that it's not like no one's too young. We've had kids with autism. We've had kids with just a little mood disorder, speech, slow speech, and we put them on this, and along with their other therapists, they're starting to thrive again. So it's pretty cool how it's really virtually every cell in the body we can kind of revitalize and recharge depending on where the tissue's damaged, and that leads to performance at whether they're athletes or just performing in school. Right?
So should you be adjusted before or after you have the therapies?
That's a great question too. Typically, I like to adjust first.
Okay.
And here's why. As we adjust the spine, we know today that it lights up the brain. Yeah. Remember, it lights up the prefrontal cortex. So now the prefrontal cortex is more active, and that is what controls and coordinates all body functions, right? Autonomic system, heart, lungs, liver, kidney, mood, virtually every cell in the body, right? So when that's lit up, and then we go to the technology, I just feel it makes sense to me that would then perform better. Sometimes it doesn't always work that way. If I'm behind, we have to put people into the technology first, and that's okay. But I just feel like if we're adjusting first, then we go into pulse, we have
the maximum benefit.
Yeah, I feel like then the body's, it's already self-regulating, because we don't do the healing or claim to, and the machines don't. It's getting the body in a state to really heal itself, right?
Yeah, and what's really the most important thing is that we feel good, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
And this all helps to promote a healthy lifestyle, healthy community, which in turn is better for everybody. Yeah. For sure. What should we watch out for? You young athletes participating in new sports, right? Is that something that we should kind of keep an eye on?
I think so. I think that's anytime we start something new that we're vulnerable for injury, right? So I like the idea of like pre-screening them. So
nice.
That's a good idea.
If we're going from soccer to let's say a soft field, right, to a court. So their ligaments, everything, their tendons, especially as they're growing and developing, they're changing. Yeah. So that's why it takes some time for them to get their. If you see like a football player then go into hockey, it takes them some time to get their legs, because I mean, football is a great sport, but they're not the conditioning for hockey. You have to skate your way into that almost, right? So if there's any imbalances, structurally, whether it's foot, ankle, knee. We can watch them walk, we can watch them run, we can see if there's anything that's really out of position. Then we can have them work on those things. We can have them strengthen the things they need to strengthen, stretch the things they need to stretch, and then certainly if there's alignment issues, that's just, that's what we do first, right? If we set the ankle or set the knee or set the hip or the spine, whatever it is, to make sure the joint's functional, then we can strengthen or stretch around that so that there's less chance for injury.
Andy mentioned, the overall goal is to just feel good. And one of the things that I love about chiropractic, and I've experienced at Penn Chiropractic, is just the overall wellness that you promote. Whether that's talking about healthy diet or appropriate supplements, based on your needs and your lifestyle. And then the multiple technologies. You mentioned you have 7 different stations, basically 7 stations of wellness to help people feel their best. Was this something that you always had a passion for?
I did, yes, but we didn't have all this technology. So I've always focused on total spine correction and optimal health. That's our whole purpose, has always been to every patient that we see is to not only educate them on lifestyle, but then adjust as many families as possible, right, towards optimal health, not just symptom relief. So that's really always been our mantra. Today but that was always, I just had 2 adjusting stations for like 20 years. That's kind of what I did. And then give people homework, stretching, and nutrition and guidance in that realm. But today, after they see me, now there's these other stations where I really appreciate your point, Jennifer, is that they're getting well at every station. Yeah. And so that they dovetail each other. And so now we start having layers of these wellness stations, and they all kind of dovetail off each other.
Yeah. A lot of great things happening at Penn Chiropractic. Thanks for being with us today, Doc. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks,
Jennifer.
More of the morning show right after this quick break.